What's going on, YouTube? Hey, it's another Wednesday for you. So of course I got another video, and I just want to talk about the mortgage forbearance right now, man. The mortgage forbearance seems like it might be coming to an end, but we don't know. For the last year, they've literally kept it going and going and going. So every time it's about to end, they reinstate it, start it back over, whatever the case may be. But as of today, the day of this recording, all right, September 30th is the end date. So I wanted to talk about what that might mean. All right. As for individuals that are looking to purchase, individuals that may be affected by the forbearance, and what it's going to do to the market. All right. So let's go ahead and get on into what the future of home ownership is going to be for this forbearance thing that might be lifted shortly. All right. All right, so let's give a big shout out, because today I feel, I am Groot, I am Groot, and I am Groot. So that's how I'm feeling today. All right, and just in case you wanted to know. But let's get back to this whole forbearance program. All right, the whole forbearance program is a government-backed forbearance deal that's covering like the FHA, the VA, USDA, all the government backed loans. All right. So if you have one of those and you needed to use forbearance, then this definitely fits for you, because this is something that you can use to, I want to say it the right way, to not have a payment at the moment, to give you a relief in order to make it through this COVID period, or through this whole pandemic and hard time. But there will be a day that all of that is due, and I'll let people figure that out. But this was created right after the whole pandemic and the whole lockdown. So March of 2020, the whole lockdown happened, boom. And it was actually right when I moved into this house, so it was a little bit scary for me, but it's what happened. March of 2020, this whole thing happened. People were losing their jobs, they were losing businesses, they were losing, different finances and things like that. So their main source of income has now either stopped, slowed down, or people were a little bit shaky on what was going to happen. So when that happened, the government tried to step in and say, hey, let's do this forbearance program in order to not have a repeat of 2008. All right. So I guess it was a good thing, because a lot of people were able to stay in their home and continue, eating, providing things for their family, going to school, working if they were able to, whatever the case may be for them, or whatever their situation was, they were able to continue on. For many people that may not have that opportunity if this hadn't, have happened. So that forbearance program saved a lot of people. All right. So the government created this program so that you wouldn't lose your home, not so you can just stay in there and get all loosey-goosey or do something silly, but they're making it so you wouldn't lose your home. You don't have to abandon it. You don't have to ditch it and then leave it for the bank. No, you get to keep it. All right. So the whole world was having this whole issue. It wasn't just us, but the U.S. stepped in and gave this forbearance program. So that was pretty sweet. Oh, and the U.S. was actually also buying all the toilet tissue. So all the toilet tissue is being bought out by, we ain't gonna talk about that. Whatever. All right. So as the world was going through this whole little situation, June of 2020, there was 4.2 million on this forbearance program. All right. So this is right when it just kicked off. March kicked off. Boom. All these things are happening. People losing jobs. Then June of 2020, man, we had 4.2 million people on this. So that was saving people's backsides. Second, right? May of 2021, we're almost a year later. May of 2021. Now that number has actually decreased. It's actually cut in half to 2.1 million. But look at just a few months later. A few months later, in August of 2021, we're looking at 1.7 million in the forbearance program. So we just, and the time of this recording is in August, but we're about to hit September. So with that whole 1.7 million people in the program, I'm not even sure if all 1.7 million you know, are really needing this forbearance program. I have heard stories of individuals not really using it because they actually have the money, but they're saying, why not use a forbearance? Because it's there, right? So if it's there, a lot of people will utilize it in a different way. All right. And when I say using it in a different way, I'm not saying that, you know, these people are just wasting their money. They're not wasting their money. Actually, I can't say that. I don't know what they're doing with their money, but they may be doing like renovations to their home. There's a lot of people, and I'm privy to seeing this actually happen because I'm a real estate agent, but a lot of people are actually doing renovations to their home. So they renovate their home and then they go and they sell it. Some people are just choosing not to do any of that. They say, let me do this mortgage forbearance, or let me not do it and let me just sell the home. But some people are using it for renovations. Other people are using it for to pay off their school loans, to pay off any debts that they have. I know a lot of people got out of debt, and man, that's tremendous because now your credit score is actually going to jump up. Yes, you are in the forbearance program, but it's helped you in other areas. So now it frees up that money that you typically wouldn't have because you would have had your mortgage and you would have had your credit card payments. But now with those credit card payments, whatever bill that you owed being paid down and paid off, now you can just focus on your mortgage. Makes it a little bit easier for you. Some of the people that are getting off of the program, all it does is just add on, you know, a couple more dollars, maybe $50 to $100 extra onto your mortgage until that forbearance time period is paid off. Meaning if you owed $8,000, that $8,000 needs to be paid back, and they make out a payment plan for you. I don't have anything to do with that, but just consult with whoever you need to within your actual mortgage company, and then they'll get you straight for that, okay? But a lot of people were using this time to do some investing. I'm one of those individuals. I did use a lot of this time to learn about investing and where to put my money and how it grows and dividends and things like that. But I did not utilize the forbearance program because it wasn't needed for me. Okay. So I was one of the individuals that were actually blessed to be able to work a little bit extra. And because I do have a full-time gig with the federal government, so I'm not really nervous on losing that. But as well as that, I do have another income because I do real estate on the side. So for me, I just utilized that real estate money. Yeah, I couldn't go on vacations, take my family places, but what I did was got into investments. So some people are doing that instead of paying their mortgage. More power to you. There's nothing that I could say that's wrong about doing that, but that's just what people are doing. So not everybody in the forbearance program is really needing this program. Some people are utilizing it for, you know, different reasons. All right, so now, as it stands, September 30th, this program will no longer be our savior. This program will be gone. So now we have to figure out what we need to do. So unless it's renewed for the 120th millionth time, laugh out loud, right? If it's renewed again, then circumstances pretty much stay the same. You know, there's not a lot of houses hitting the market, but if it's not renewed, then there's going to be a lot more homes that are going to hit the market. So for me, that's a good thing. For individuals that are looking to buy a home, that's a great thing. All right. So if this mortgage forbearance program ends, these are going to be the three shifts that we see in the economy. All right. We're going to start seeing more foreclosures because the individuals that can't pay, they're going to be booted out. All right. There's no longer saving them under this program. So they're going to be booted out. The housing market is actually going to increase. So with the housing market increasing, what that's going to do is you're going to see more homes on the market, which is a great thing. All right. So we should shout and hit the like button for that because now you're going to have more houses on the market. I'm a realtor, so of course that makes me happy, but I don't want to see people getting foreclosed on. I'd rather see them hit the market, get a good profit on it, and then keep it moving. All right. So for the economy, now the economy is actually going to take a loss because there's going to be less money within the economy because there's more houses on the market. So people are going to be paying their mortgages. The foreclosure program is actually going to be ending. So with the foreclosure program ending, more people have to pay their mortgage or they have to sell these new people are going to be paying mortgages, and they're not going to be out here taking vacations, dipping into stocks, dipping into extra toilet paper. I'm going to stop saying extra toilet paper someday, but not anytime soon. But they're going to stop spending all that extra money. All right, so I want to look at the differences between the 2008 and now, because now that's a big period in between. We did have that time for 2008 to actually learn what we could have done better. Now, are we doing that? I don't know. I don't want to speak on that one. But just hit the like button if you made it through 2008, and if you've made it through this pandemic, hit the like button, subscribe, and just give me a comment, man. What was the one takeaway that you took away from this COVID pandemic? Is it you had to work harder? Maybe jobs can be telework. Maybe you just kick back and use the system. Maybe your dividends kicked in and was paying for everything, your retirement. Like what was it, man? For me, I was blessed, to have the two incomes. I had real estate, and then I had my full-time gig. And then my full-time gig, I already worked at home since 2019, November. So that was a blessing for me. But those two things are really what kept me going. And in real estate, man, it's like a fail-proof kind of situation. There's times where you make money, there's times where you don't. For me, I killed it during the pandemic, and it's continuing to do well. So that's mine. But let's talk about the foreclosures from 2008 until now. So 2008 foreclosures were different. When we lost jobs and we lost money, we didn't have anything to replace it. Now, just like I said before, a lot of people are actually just doing investments and paying off debts and things like that. So they're putting themselves in a better position so that when the forbearance program ends September 30th, if it does happen, there's no fear, man. There's no fear in our hearts. Maybe these people got one or two jobs. They can pay back their mortgage. They don't really care. They got a new hustle. They started a business, all these PPP loans. They don't care. They're going to pay that dang loan back, and there's nothing that's going to stop them, all right? So there's not going to be, and fingers crossed, knock on wood, all right, say, whatever, there's not going to be as many foreclosures as before, all right? So the numbers are just 1.7 million in the program now. And if not all of those, let's say just half are in the program and really need it, or maybe even less than that, man. Let's say less than that, because that's a good number. Then there's not going to be as many foreclosures. People are just going to sell their home or just live in it, man, and renovate that crap, do whatever. They're going to be okay, all right? That's what we want to hear. One of the other things, though, the lenders, man. The lenders were actually giving out ARM, is adjustable rate mortgage. They were giving out a lot of those loans back then. So in 2008, these adjustable rate mortgages were horrendous. So let me give you an example of what one of these things would be. All right. So let me actually just show you. Let me show you. All right. So now we're looking at this adjustable rate loan. Okay. This adjustable rate loan, for the example purposes, it's a $300,000 loan with a 3.5% down, all right, which is $10,500. With that $10,500, you start out at a great rate, 3%, okay? That's $1,484. Now, we're adding in taxes, principal, different stuff like that. You can take that off if you want to, it doesn't matter. But for the purposes of this, we try to make it, I try to make it as realistic as possible, and try to add in a couple of things, property taxes and stuff like that. So we're still looking at $1,484. All right. Now it's going to adjust, and it depends on what kind of rate, adjustable rate that you do. I don't know when it's going to adjust. It as a few months, sometimes it's 30 months, sometimes it's 60 months, whatever. And the adjustable rate mortgage, it'll actually explain how many months you have before it changes to this. So let's say it just changes in 2 years or 3 years. So it'll change to 3.5. So now you're paying almost $100 more after 3 years. Then 5 years kicks in. And these are all just estimates of time periods, because again, they're going to give you, I'm not a lender, I'm just a realtor. So they're going to give you the actual months of when this is going to kick in. So now it changes to 4 months when you just had this great rate of 3%. So after 5 years, it's going to go to 1646. So it sounded great, that you had this, but then it kicked here. So now let's go to this one. I think it was towards the end. I think it was like the last year or two that it jumped to like 9.5%. So yes, you have 30 years or so before it even kicks into this point. But why in the world is your mortgage doubled? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. 26.98. So that's what was happening back then. All right, these lenders were handing out these adjustable rates because a lot of people got a better rate by doing that, and it was super low. But in the end result, once those things start kicking in, depending on which one you had, people can't afford that. So if, like in 3 years, if that thing went from 1484 to 2698, I know for me, I can't afford a $1,200 jump like that and then still afford my lifestyle. So we went into massive foreclosures. We went into massive banks holding all of these homes and different stuff like that. And that's not what we're going to be into this time, because as a realtor, I don't see a lot of loans. Actually, the 4 years I've been doing it, I've never seen an ARM. I've never seen an adjustable rate at all. I've only seen fixed rates. All of the rates have been fixed on every single home that I've done, whether it be a sale, a purchase, they've all been fixed rates. So these people have been getting some of the best rates, percentage wise, well under 4%, and getting it at a fixed rate. So I don't see a lot of people losing their homes because their mortgage is pretty much going to stay the same unless the property tax increases, then that's included in there. Unless you just pay, out of pocket. Some people pay out of pocket. You don't pay in your mortgage, but it's not going to increase a lot. Okay. So it's more manageable when you have a fixed rate now than it was back in 2008, which caused a lot of these dang foreclosures. All right. Second is going to be the housing market. So the housing market prices are definitely on the rise. Maybe not as fast as what it was when we first had this pandemic. It has, given a little bit of a shift. I don't want to say, there's a crash, because there is no crash. It's not happening. It did not happen. This thing is still increasing. I got $160,000 in equity on my home within a year and a half. That's ridiculous to me. Shouldn't have grown that much, but I'm not complaining. It's good money. A lot of you have a lot of equity within your home, depending on where you live. So if you're in Arizona, you may have some great equity. If you need a quote or anything like that, hit me up, man. I could definitely give you a quote on what your equity is and what you're sitting on. Whether you want to sell or you just feel like, hey, I just need to know what kind of equity I'm sitting on, man. It feels good to know what kind of equity you got. Like what dollar amount am I sitting on today, baby? Not like you can just go grab it unless you refinance. But I did a video on that, all right? Anyway, if you get more houses on the market, then there's more supply for the already high demand, all right? So the high demand is saying, please put more houses on the market. This foreclosure forbearance thing, if it stops September 30th, is actually going to put more houses on the market. Will it still continue to increase for our equity? You got dang right it will. So that's amazing. But will it be as fast? Who knows? I have no clue. There's going to be more houses on the market to sell. So for me, that's great. For those that are looking to buy, that's great. Now there's more options for you, okay? You're not fighting over the same one. There's not 10 to 15 offers on one house. Maybe there's only 4 or 5. So that's a good thing for you. All right. So before I hit on this last topic of the economy, please hit the like button, man. It took a lot of time to make this video, and I need YouTube to start making my videos more public so I can get a little bit more viewing. All right. So the economy basically runs on money. All right. So we need the money to continue to circulate. If the money does not circulate, and I'm not talking about paying mortgages, if you just pay your mortgage payment, that's not really circulating. What the economy needs you to do is buy TVs, buy cars, buy rims, buy jewelry, food, toilet paper, and more toilet paper, and more toilet paper. You made these dang toilet paper people rich as all get out, which is crazy. But that's what the economy needs. They need vacations, flights, things like that. That's what the economy runs on. All right. So tourism is a great example of that. The more tourists that come to a destination, the more money is running through that destination. Now, whatever the government or the state does with that money, I have no clue. But that just means there's more money running into that location. That's what that circulation is supposed to be. Okay. So spending in the economy and not on the darn mortgages or your student loans, things like that, whatever. But that's what's happening. Maybe the student loans are going to come back. Maybe the forbearance is going to continue on. Maybe it won't. But that's where the money is going to go if the forbearance is lifted. It has to go to the mortgages, and it's no longer going to be into the economy. All right. So is there about to be a forbearance shift because of these foreclosures that may hit the market, or is there a real shift at all? Tell me what you guys think, man. Hopefully you guys like this video. As always, man, I'm Darrell Coleman, also known as Shamrock. Please, please, please hit the like button. If you made it this far, you're a champ, dude. I freaking love you to death. As always, have a happy Wednesday, man. I love you guys.